Barney's version is a novel written by the Canadian author Mordecai Richler, published in 1997, from which it has been inspired the namesake movie nominated for the Golden Lion at the 16th Venice International Film Festival. The movie is directed by Richard J. Lewis and interpreted by Paul Giamatti, Barney Pafonsky, and Dustin Hoffman, Easy, Barney's father. Mordecai Richler is a Canadian writer and dramatist, born in 1931 from a Jewish family of Montreal. In his 20s, he moved to Paris to follow his mentors, Jean-Paul Sartre and Ernest Hemingway. The author has been particularly influenced by the work of Philip Roth, who can be found in the novel under the pseudonym of Terry McKeever, a character towards whom Barney bears two contrasting feelings, fear and respect for his talent. There are many resemblances between Barney's version Sabbath Theatre by Philip Roth and A Confederacy of Dances by the American writer John Kennedy Toole. Barney is a 60-year-old TV producer who decides to write down the story of his life. The book is a long response to Terry McKeever's novel, in which he accuses Barney of the murder of his friend Boogie Moscovich and the suicide of his first wife, Clara Chernovsky. McKeever is a very relevant person in Barney's life, a character who is always present in the book, but who is totally missing in the movie. Barney's version is divided into 3 chapters: the first marriage with the artist Clara, the second marriage with the second Mrs. Pafonsky, whose real name won't be ever cited, and in the end his greatest love Miriam, the future mother of his 3 sons, Michael, Saul and Kate. Anyhow, the movie is only focused on Barney's last marriage and on the very strong paternal relationship with his father, Eddie. In the book, Barney talks firsthand about himself, an ordinary man with an extraordinary life. The plot is full of flashbacks, personal reflections and deep feelings and thoughts that the character wants to share with the reader without any filters. However, Barney's recording of events may result full of memory lapses and incoherence due to his alcohol dependence and especially because of the Alzheimer's syndrome, a disease that leads day by day the character to realize that he will soon forget all the most beautiful moments of his life with Miriam and his sons. For this reason, the novel obtains a great symbolic value. It is like it was the last encounter of Barney with himself before losing self-consciousness. As many other great authors of the literature like Joyce, Eliot, Virginia Woolf and Faulkner, also Richler adopts the stream of consciousness, a technique that takes the reader to follow the thoughts and the flow of the unconscious mind of the character. Where the unconscious meets the memory, there is the author, his character, and his willingness to describe himself ironically. In fact, despite the author denied the fact that his novel is an autobiography, too many common characteristics with the main character confirm this hypothesis. Barney could be any young dreamer who, at the ripe age of his life, decides to move to another country to make his dreams come true. From Montreal to Paris, an exciting artistic city during the 50s, with his fame desire, his willingness to make his life something worth to be remembered, working as a TV producer and dedicating his best time to art. In the movie, Paris has been substituted by the Bohemian Rome of the 50s. According to the producer Robert Lantus, with this choice, the director Richard J. Lewis wanted to pay tribute to the iconic city of Italy, where the book, Barney's version, sold the highest number of copies. Like Barney, many young people today as well leave their family to follow their dreams, betting everything to change their life. People with big dreams who often end up accepting a life which does not belong to their personality in a new city which rejects them. The book represents the main character as an unfair man who easily offends other people, but at the same time a husband, a father, a friend who is always ready to defend the most beloved people in his life. This is the reason why, during the novel, readers end up creating a sort of affection for Barney, a sort of love and empathy bond with him. On the contrary, the movie presents, from the beginning, a negative image of Barney, impossible to be overturned. A severe man with bad habits who smokes cigars in face of people, disrespectful. Hence, there are just a few spots by the end of the movie where you can perceive the soft heart and the poetic spirit of Barney. But this seems to be just too late to let the public be emotional in front of his sensibility. Barney can't leave behind the happy moments of his youth. He lives in a 60-year-old body with a 20-year-old heart and soul. When he was 20 years old, he couldn't know already what his life would it be. He felt a strong fear feeling that every one of us feels in his life. One beings characterized by unpredictability and discovery. We are asked to look and explore ourselves and our souls. According to what the poet W.H. Auden has written in the Sonnets from China, different animal creatures, like bees, birds, fishes, have received their definitive role in their life since the day of their birth, and they will always be satisfied for that. It is not the same for human beings. The unknown characterizes our life. On one hand, it consists in a push toward the mystery, the energy which pushes Barney to chase the beloved woman over any limit or restriction. On the other hand, it is a sort of cage full of fears and contradictions. In front of these feelings, there is no more space or time. According to Fernando Savater, men live in a state of perpetual adolescence, a singular persistence, an obstinacy, sometimes admirable, sometimes formidable.